All righty then. Fire your questions away. I think we got some people already firing away. Let's see. Is that a question or I think it was a question because I do see that. Okay, so suggestions on reaching out to the comments on ads. Can you be more specific, or if you want to come out, we can always you can unmute yourself that way because we want to get specific on these questions. That way we can give you an actionable step for anything that you got from tonight.
How you just go and reach out to them? I mean, to not come across as spammy.
You're talking about the people on the ads?
Right, the people on the ads where you're going into the who commented on that ad. I mean, I know that it kind of like applies to what the ad is in reference to, but just if you could give like a suggestion for like a generic blanket where to start from.
Yeah, honestly, this is just me. All right, you may do this a little differently because it is personal preference, but I don't actually send them a message. I just send them a friend request. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right, because my strategy is I want to be so attractive with my Facebook profile that if they go accept the friend request and then have the any like I guess desire to go check out my page at all, I want my profile to do the heavy lifting.
That makes a lot more sense.
Okay, because then let's just say I do a video 3 weeks, random number, 3 weeks from today, or them accepting that friend request, and they show up on the video, right? And then they comment, and maybe they just say comment like new or first time or something like that, right? And then I reach out to them and say, hey, saw you on my video that you commented first time. What brought you my way, or hope you got value out of it. See, now it's a completely different conversation, right?
Right.
Okay. Now who's it? I'm pretty much in control, and they've technically been attracted to me, even though I reached out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't technically reach out to them. If I had to and give you like a blanket statement of like how to reach out, like, hey, saw you on so-and-so's on so-and-so's thread. I really like them. Have you been following them for a while? Did you actually do the thing? Did you go to the thing? Did you download it? Did you get it? What'd you get from it? Again, I'm starting a conversation on a like thing that like, obviously it showed up in their news feed, showed up in my news feed. How can I start a conversation on something that we have in common? And then I may take that same commonality approach and take it to their profile and say, oh, hey, I saw you have a red truck. I have a red truck too. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I know that's simple or stupid, but like the same principle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully that makes sense. I mean, and again,
yeah, that makes sense. I like the friend request, just a direct friend request, a lot better because that way they just go straight to your profile and it cuts out the whole.
Yeah, and if they're like, and again, if you have this awkward one, like, hey, why'd you send me a friend request? How'd you find me? And I'm just like, again, that's okay for a little bit, but it's like for real, like, I don't know. Like, if you're on Facebook, it's not like, I can, you know what I mean? It's like, have you found my house? I don't. Gary told me.
I know what color shirt you're wearing. You could really freak them out if they were actually wearing the same shirt that they did when they did their profile picture.
Right. I'm in your window. Right. So, I mean, yeah, I'd rather, again, if you're doing the things that we tell you to do on a daily basis, if you're building a strong looking profile, again, because remember, Facebook is just a highlight reel. Okay. Like you travel one time, people think you travel all the time. You know what I mean? Like, whatever is in your newsfeed is what you're doing. So you could be in paradise and you could run an ad, this picture of you in paradise for 12 months. And guess what? Everybody thinks like, oh, damn, they must live in paradise. It's like, do they know, Beyonce? It's just, that's what, but understanding the psychology of how people think, right? Just people think that like, if they pass you in that Lamborghini rental, that's what you always driving, right? That's just what they think. You could be broke as a joke. So, just that's a suggestion there. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Angela says, should we be sharing our mini stories on intros to all our lives? I believe so. I believe you should. That your mini story should be part of something that is in like everything that you do, especially video.
Yeah, just really quick though. Don't spend a lot of time on it every single live.
Right.
Just like real quick.
Right. A lot of people may say like, man, I got like a lot to share, right? Certain instances when you're doing like Facebook Lives, when you're sharing things, the other like mini series of your stories, that's where those will come out. You know what I mean? Like like tonight, there's a lot of things that came out in the training tonight that like, I don't always just go out and say like, oh, you know what? Like, when Wes is talking to me sometimes and I would go to my phone and she would get upset, right? That doesn't come out on the intro of every training. It doesn't come out on everything, but it comes up situationally, right? It's a teaching moment, that's something that's happened in our life that is a situational thing to share. So again, if you're going out teaching anything, again, teachers are the ones that get paid, right? So if you're teaching anything, teaching weight loss, teaching, marketing, teaching whatever, teaching, squirrel hunting, use your stories, your life experiences with yourself, with other people. You're always assuming that the point you made, they didn't get it. Okay. That's what we have to get to. Anytime you're teaching something, it's, okay, I made my point, but I'm assuming that they didn't get it. So in that assumption that they didn't get the thing, you have to tell a story in place so they would get it. Does that make sense, guys? Yes. So if I'm thinking like that, anytime I'm doing something, and you can start to recognize this with really, really good, teachers out there, people that you watch a lot, they make a point, okay, especially on webinars, they make a point, and you think they're teaching, but all they're doing is telling you a story or telling a testimony of something. And you think they're teaching. You think they're giving out content where they're really not. All they're doing is just giving you an example or a story of what happened to them. Therefore, you remember it, and you think they're giving out this awesome content, which they're really not, because the principle is to never really give out content unless people are paying for it. But it's the psychology of what people view as valuable. Okay, squirrels are really easy to pick on, Angela. It's just like, they're like the world's, distraction animal. But hopefully that makes sense. If you can get that, you can start to understand that. I think, you can apply it, and you can start really connecting with your audience. They'll start connecting with you a lot better too, because all you're doing is just like point, story. And then a lot of you that if you're struggling with like beefier videos, or you want to make like a little beefier video, right? Instead of doing like a 2-minute video, you end up telling a good looking story. You got like a 10-minute video because you had to actually craft that story. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Did I miss one? Orlando, right? Yeah. When tracking who you are adding to friends list, are you writing it down on paper, or do you have an Excel spreadsheet? I don't track just the friends list tracking. I would just track the number because that's too much to keep up with. Okay. So the friend list tracking, I want to track the number. In terms of like the people that make it to a sheet of paper or a spreadsheet, usually those are people that I either like deem we had a good conversation. They've maybe expressed some type of interest in something, right? So then they go down on paper. Maybe I got them on the phone. Each and every one of us is going to have a different parameter of who gets tracked on paper, spreadsheet, whatever floats your boat, okay? You have to set those rules. You know what I mean? So I'm going to use Jim as an example here. I've never sold cars before, but I would say that he doesn't track everybody that just comes on the lot, right? You may just track the people that make it to finance. You know what I mean? You may just track the people that go on test drives. You may just track the people that, that stay on the lot for more than 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Because now, maybe there's some type of measurement that I could say, what person, stays on the lot for 10 minutes, is more likely to buy a car than the person that stays on for 8.3. I don't know. Right. Does that make sense? Jim, does that kind of make some sense? Am I on track there with that example? Yeah. So again, you can choose who you track. The guy that's been selling cars at the same dealership for 20 years may not track everybody that comes in, right? The new dude that's 20 years old, that's just trying to get everybody, right? You may be new to your network marketing company. You may not have a lot of results. So you may be looking to really establish like a big network, in the beginning, I was trying to get on the phone with everybody. I was tracking everybody. It was like track everything, right? And then, you get to a place where, you don't track so much. You start to put some parameters on things because you're growing. So hopefully that makes sense.
Are you recording?
I am recording. I wouldn't not record, but what am I doing? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on? I'm lost. Let's see here. Orlando, does that answer your question though, bro? Okay, cool. I think you said yes. Let me move down. Let's see. That has been happening to me lately. My page has been doing the heavy lifting. I usually miss it. Okay, cool. Good deal. Squirrel, ducks. Squirrel. Okay. Okay, so Jim says, do you suggest friending or following? My follows seem to get people more curious, and I'm getting friend requests back from those. A few people have asked me that question. I really don't think there's a big difference. Again, if you notice a difference, if you notice a difference, you're like, oh man, like follows are just the shit, what, I don't know. Right. Like, man, I want them friend requests, but I want them follows, personally, I don't think that's the biggest thing in the world, because I do look at that stuff and I'm like, okay, like this person's got like 30 followers and I know they make a lot of money and get a lot of engagement, So I don't think that's something that is like that drastic to like probably spend a lot of time on, would you say? Like, like it's not like a thing to really like, spend a ton of time on. I know like heavy marketers out there, they do look at that stuff. But again, even us, the ones that are like in the trenches of trying to dissect Facebook and, beat Zuckerberg at his own game, still wouldn't spend a lot of time on it myself. So I don't think it's one of those things where it's like, a big difference. At the end of the day, it's really just about, hey, whatever works for you to get in front of people and start those conversations and migrate people to the phone, migrate people to, your presentation, your Facebook group, or whatever it is that you do to start the process of getting a customer or rep or whatever. Emilia says a squirrel on the road. It's kind of funny. But whatever you do to create a conversation, again, that's one of those things where it goes back to it's less important for how you generate a lead, especially if you're doing network marketing. It's less important for how you generate the lead than what you do with it once you generate that lead. But I do get your question. But again, I probably wouldn't spend a lot of time on it. Because I don't really think there's a true tangible difference that is going to make a big difference in like your bank account. What did Evelyn say? I just like the fact that I can follow more people without running the danger of Facebook. Yeah, that is a good point. That is a very good point. So, you can follow as many people as you want. Okay. Again, whatever you got to do to get their attention, it's the same deal. It's like, you can go, like a bunch of their posts and profile pictures and comment on their stuff. That gets someone's attention too. There's a lot of things that you can do to get people's attention and, you know, again, start the process of at least getting some type of conversation going, right? So, yeah, it's a very good point, that one. Let's see. Any other questions? Let's go. Keep those questions coming. I know this is one of those things where, I mean, Facebook is king. I mean, you want to get your face. I mean, did we just do such a good job tonight in the presentation that it's just like, you know, set up you now know how to. And again, while we're on like stuff that questions that like, let's talk about algorithm really quick. While you're thinking about your next question, again, Zuckerberg and Facebook doesn't even know Facebook's algorithm. Okay. So, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of those posts like, you know, hey, Facebook algorithms definitely made some changes over the last month and I can't see who posts. I mean, to me, that just seems kind of like, you know, I don't know how you feel. Personal preference, again, I'm just not the biggest fan of like, you know, like, hey, it just seems kind of desperate to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to let people know that I just deleted, you know, 200 people. I don't need to let people know that nobody's seeing my post or whatever. So comment, you know, I can see this if you can see this. You know what I mean? Like, I see it gets engagement or whatever, but I don't think it's the engagement that you're looking for. It's just my opinion. Okay. But again, you know, again, and if someone out there is saying, hey, you know, they've mastered the lost the current thought.
Oh man! I hope so. It's literally hitting everybody, and it's short for most people.
Like the play.
All right. That person's not listening. So, what was I saying? Oh, if anybody actually claims that they've like figured out the algorithm or whatever, again, you know, don't fall for that stuff. Okay. It's not true. How would you handle someone who asks you about what you were using, and then when you finally let them know, they say they will go to their own friend? I say awesome, because that person is a shady person anyway, and you didn't want them. You don't want them buying from you. And again, if they want to go build, again, that's a person you probably don't want on your team. Okay, we have that happen.
Plenty of people that we've introduced to a company and spent, you know, hour plus on the phone, and then they went and joined up with somebody else, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. Would you really want to work with that person if that's what they're going to do?
Just can't take it personal.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't take it personal. I mean, nothing in this business is really personal. Again, you just got to keep it moving, support them, be happy for them, you know, all that good stuff, you know, pray for them, whatever you got to do. Because at the end of the day, like, nothing's personal. Taking it personal doesn't help you, doesn't help them. A lot of times you never know how your paths will cross again in a month, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. You never know. And you know, if you respond like a dick, then you may burn bridges. And no bridge unless someone is like be absolutely rude. Like, technically, in my book, it's not really rude. It's not like by the book. It's not like the most like professional thing to do. But they weren't like an ass, right? So it's not like they were like, you know what, screw you. You know, you suck. I'm going to go join someone else, sucker, right? Like, I hope you break a toe. You know, they're not doing that. They're just saying like, well, you know, my friend showed me first or whatever is going through their head, right? So again, we can't take that stuff personal. Again, you know, just wish them the best. You say, hey, you know, awesome, cool. It's not worth your time. It's not worth theirs. Just, you know, keep it moving and, you know, and chalk it up as a, you know, what do you call it? Cat wins a game or something like that. So yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I know that's what Wes would suggest too. Let's see. I was a potential customer, told them. Yeah. Just, you know, be that person, you know. They'd probably end up coming to you anyway because they'd be like, probably mad at their friend for not doing what you did, right? Like, who cares? Yeah, but I mean, you'll be the bigger person, and it's better for you. Is there any truth to your post losing exposure after 3 or 4 in a day? I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think there is some truth to that. Like, if you're just like over posting, I do think that like it kind of like gives a red flag, So like, again, some people don't though. I mean, some people that get like super engagement, it doesn't matter, right? But they've already, I think, in my opinion, when you have that person that already gets a lot of engagement, it doesn't matter what they do, they can post all they want. Like, again, I think I've even noticed that when people that I've seen that do get a lot of engagement, they go into these over posts and you see them get less engagement. So again, I don't think there is, using the word truth or real, like, fact is tough when it comes to this stuff. You just have to like look at trends. You know what I mean? Like, even Wes was like, hey, like, a few of my posts are not getting like the engagement they used to get. And then like, I know because of trend and practice that, okay, it may be time to delete some people that don't need to be around, right? I mean, typically that may be something that's helped me in the past too. It's little things like that just kind of can help. But again, there's none of that has ever been like make or break on like why we aren't successful or are successful. She's actually a nice person, so I understood one to yeah. This game ain't about being nice.
Emilio said, what is your suggestion to getting your Facebook Lives out to more people?
Getting your Facebook Lives out to more people is it's an uphill battle. It's a consistent uphill battle. It's making sure that you're asking people to subscribe, and after the video's over, they say click follow after the video's over. I do think that one, asking for shares, getting more shares, getting your things in groups, things like that is huge. I think the biggest thing to get more people to your Facebook Lives is actually getting other authority figures to either shout you out, the kind of thing that, Jermaine was talking about, because that's where people start to follow you. Like for us, a big thing for us is we want to, do trainings for people with big teams, get in front of them. We are more than willing to go out and do a 30-minute, free training for someone with a big team or a big audience, you know what I mean? And do something that maybe they don't want to talk about, right? Or, something like that. We just did a training for a girl. She had, over 500, people on her team, right? We wanted, then people follow you after that stuff. I mean, again, it may not be at that scale yet, but again, you just have to, wherever you are in your life and your business, you've got to do certain things like that so you can get in front of other people. It's we're at an event right now, right? So, it's connecting with people at events like this, and then getting them connected on Facebook, and then they may like a video, they share it out to their audience, this isn't a network marketing event. So you think like, oh man, if we could, like, we're here for like 6 days, and if we meet, 50 people that are like, oh man, you guys are awesome, and oh man, your video is really kicking it, man. They're shooting that out to other people too, like new audience, right? New people. I mean, it's those little things, and like, getting to events and being able to like get on stage and maybe being on a success panel. I mean, I know that it may not be where you are at this moment, but again, it's just working towards those things and understand that like you can only expose yourself so much. At some point, you got to have other people exposing you. Okay. That's the big thing on how to get more exposure to you and more eyes on is at some point you got to, have people shouting you out. You got to doing things where you earn the interview. What could you do to earn an interview with somebody? Is it producing? Is it going out and, and enrolling 10 people? I mean, what is it? I would, I know that I would, if it were me and I said, man, one of our mentors has a Facebook group, it's got 22,000 people in it. I may say, dude, what would Wes and I need to do in order to, get a training spot for that group, not to say, hey, come over to our group. Right. But again, just to say, hey, we exist, right? To get in front of more people that don't know you exist. I would say that's the main thing in the journey of like getting visibility is doing little things like that and just getting in front of people with audiences because they know people that you don't know. You know, it's that's happened with, you can do that in network marketing. You know, you may enroll somebody, you know, we'll be going over taprooting soon, but you can enroll somebody. And again, like you got to get into that person's network. That's the whole point of network marketing, is to like get into someone else's phone. There's people in their phone, like Jeanette. There's people in Jeanette's phone that we have no idea who they are, right? Jeanette's not on our team, right? But if Jeanette was on our team, we would be wanting to get into Jeanette's phone. That way all the people in Jeanette know us and all this thing, and then we can help them, and then Jeanette makes money, and then it rolls up, and then it rolls back, and then it does all the network marketing backflip stuff, and then, you know what I mean? But then, you know, a lot of that stuff does turn into, like, you know, if you're doing another project years down the road, or then maybe you do something else, you know, as a side project or whatever, now you have relationships with people. There's a book called Tipping Point. Yeah, there's a book called The Tipping Point, and there's a really good example of this. And it shows that, like, there's people that are called connectors, okay? There's people that are called connectors. And these are very specific people with a very specific set of skills, okay? And if you took 6 people as an example, at some point you'd say, okay, if I had the 6 people down here, how to meet this person. Okay, I met them through them. I met them through them through them. They would all end up being connected to one person. Does that illustration make sense? So in any sense, you could pick, like, they did the example of like 40 people. They tell you to do it in the book, 40 people. And then you just work your way up. How to meet this person. Okay, I met this person through them. I met this person through them. And you work all the way back up. And 6 degrees of separation. So there was a psychologist that did this example too. And really, really, really cool experiment that they did back in the 60s. And I mean, it's that kind of thing. So like if you know, we're all connected in some type of way, right? I mean, there's only 6 people between like every one of us on the planet, which is really crazy. But that's how you that's how you can create exposure. You know, that's the book, The Tipping Point, is like every big company, every big idea, there was this tipping point because of the 6 degrees of separation, that kind of idea. It got the exposure it needed because of that kind of illustration. Hopefully that makes sense. But Tipping Point, good book. I think it's by Malcolm Gladwell. And he wrote Outliers too, which is a really good book too. We're about at the tizzy. Over here it says 7:40, so like it's kind of like messing with me. I'm like, it's only 7:40. So was this a good Q&A? You want to do one more? Anybody have like one like coup de grace question that we can answer? Maybe even around like Facebook branding, stay on topic, that kind of deal. Anybody? One last one big one for us. No, going once, going twice. Rhonda did have one. I'll scroll up for Rhonda. I can scroll up for Rhonda. Oh, found it. What would you do if I had a Klondike bar? What would you do if someone always liking your post? I've sent them 2 messages and they never responded. They're on my page. You know what? If they're always liking, and I'm sending them messages and they're not responding, but they're always liking and responding, hey, guess what? Keeping them around. I may not be sending them messages no more, but I'm keeping them around. Because here's the philosophy that I follow. Okay? Here's the philosophy that I follow. Whoever your favorite artist is, okay, this is not my favorite artist, but I think it's an easy one. I'm going to go Beyonce. Okay? Okay. I got a weird look from Wes. All right. So,
out of everybody.
Right. Okay. So Tupac had people.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So Tupac had a group of people that probably went to every concert that he could put on. Right. Okay. But at the bottom, there were probably people that loved Tupac, but just listened to the radio. right? They didn't show up at concerts. They didn't even buy the album. Okay? Oh, shut up, Angela. But there's people on every levels. You need an audience. You need someone just liking your post. Hey, shout out. You know what I mean? You don't need that person. They may not be that. Their role may not be to message you, respond to you, buy from you. Make sense? Okay. It's stupid. But that may not be their role yet. You know what I mean? And we've got to understand that there's roles in this thing, and we want everybody to buy, and we want everybody to show up at the concert. We want everybody to do this. We want everybody to do that. That's not their role. We need people just to be fans sometimes, right? We need the fans. People I know one of our mentors has 250,000 people plus on his email list. They all don't respond. They all don't open emails. They all don't buy, right? But just, would you rather have the 250,000 email list, right? Or would you say, you know what, screw those, 225,000 people. I only want to mess with the 25,000 people that do buy, right? Right? It's like, no, you need the other 225,000 people or whatever, because they create the environment and the energy. That one creates social currency. You know what I mean? Each like adds up, which then creates social currency that creates the image that, okay, cool, this person gets interaction. So that one like that person liked helped the person that saw the post and saw how many likes it had, and then they took action and they got to buy because of that person shared in the liking of in the building of the audience. Did I explain that well? Did that make any sense? I tried to explain it. Did it make sense? Right? So, the social proof, right? So imagine if we did delete that person and we just, screw this person. They only like my stuff. They don't answer my damn messages. It's bullshit. You know what I mean? You can get all, flustered about it, right? But at the end of the day, again, do you want people liking your stuff that creates social proof, or would you just want people just reaching out saying, okay, cool, the 10 people buy, right? So hopefully that illustration helps in a way that understand there's roles to this, okay? There's things that just have to happen. If they have a big event at Jim's dealership, I've gone to where I used to go to the Porsche dealership when they would unveil the newest car, right? And the audience was there. They'd invite everybody, right? And they'd only invite, certain people, and, they'd only let 100 people in the showroom, that kind of thing. And, I knew some people at the dealership, so I get lucky and get to hang out. But again, all those audience people out there, maybe one person in the room would buy the new 911, right? Maybe one person. But would Porsche rather have just the one person show up and be like, hey, Frank, here's a new car, unveil it, and nobody's there but Frank, right? That sucks, right? But they put it on the event, right? Hundreds of people there, right? Eating up all their food, but only one person's going to buy. When you can get this, I think it really does make it. I think you level up the way you brand yourself online because you understand that there are levels to it, and that helps you build your brand, especially on Facebook. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Emilio's right. There's people out there that support the shit out of you that will never buy a damn thing, but because they support you, the ones that will buy will actually buy. The ones that would buy will buy. So I think we're out of time. That was our last question. So again, we'll catch you guys Tuesday night on the next module. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. She's showing up, Chunk. She's chunking deuces. Yes. So again, we'll catch you guys next week. Make sure you're following your homework. Make sure you're posting stuff. Make sure you're having fun. Make sure you connect with your accountability partner. I am out of here. West is out of here. And
cheers, Lavetta.
See ya.
Love y'all.
LV Hester. See you guys. Have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.